Welcome to PBI Radio, everybody. I'm Chris Guns. Today my guest is Dominick Brezeale from the U.S. Olympic boxing team. He's the super heavyweight representative, and he's back from London and ready to talk. So we'll ask him what happened and what went wrong and how we can make it right. Dominick Brezeale, back from London. Tell me about it, man. How you doing?
You know, it was great. It was great. It was a world experience. It was a phenomenal opportunity to just kind of represent the country. And, of course, I would have loved to have bring back some hardware and some Olympic medals, but unfortunately wasn't able to. But it's good to be back home. There's no place like home. California is one of the best places in the world, you know.
Yeah. What was it like stepping off the plane and seeing how the Brits had the city ready and the way they had it decorated for the Olympics?
It was fantastic. You know, I flew into LAX, so we had, a crowd of people, police officers, firemen, all kinds of stuff. We actually landed the plane in the on the airplane strip, and the fire engine shot over some water over the top of the plane, like rainbows, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good coming out of the plane. We got standing ovation, clapping hands, and all that good fun stuff. Tons of fans were out there at the baggage claim, just kind of waiting to take pictures and do autographs and things like that. So it was huge. It was big time.
Yeah, no one does the show like the Brits do they?
No, not at all.
So what stands out as something you'll always remember besides the fight?
I think just being the whole experience, just being in the Olympic Village, being surrounded by athletes, at the top of their class, waking up and meeting and seeing different athletes on a daily basis, it's what's going to stand out the most to me. I made some good friends, talked to some good people, and not only do I know, a ton of the Olympians that were on the USA team, but also got introduced to, some guys on the Chinese team and Brazil team and all that good fun stuff. So it was good. It was fun.
Did you stick to hanging out with boxers, or did you inter-sports mingle with people?
I kind of mingle around a little bit. I'd say track and field is a big thing in the Olympics, so I definitely was mingling with those guys and ladies or whatnot. Basketball people and some volleyball and things like that. So I definitely was getting out there and just kind of being a social creature, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. What did people think you might be associated with the basketball team? You're tall.
That's exactly. More or less, I got that attention more than anything. They were like, "What position you play?" I'm like, "No, I don't play a position. I'm a boxer." I would say a good 70% of the time, everybody thought I was a basketball player. But
yeah.
I did let them know that I was, USA boxer. So.
Yeah, I saw you in a picture standing next to Michael Phelps. You're like way bigger than him.
Yeah, I'm bigger than a lot of Michael Phelps was, got a couple inches on him. I'm bigger than some of the basketball players too. I know some of those guys lift themselves to like 6'8", 6'9". I'm a legitimate 6'6", 3/4", so almost 6'7". And I've got a couple inches on a couple of those cats too.
Yeah, man. And you went to...
It's crazy to see different athletes being in the village. Some of these guys are like 6'10", 7 foot, 7'5".
Yeah.
I walk around being the bigger person amongst normal individuals. But being in that village, I was a smaller guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It must feel weird. And
yeah.
You went to Bolton and you met Amir Khan, right? And you went to his gym that he started out in. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, definitely. We held camp in Bolton, England, for about, I think it was from 10 to 12 days. We met Amir Khan the first couple of days there. He actually did his post interview right prior to before our training camp kicked off from his fight. He did his post interview in held a conference there in his gym, so it was good. He's good people. He's surrounded by some great people, his managers and things like that are phenomenal. And I was very, very warm, and you just kind of work out in his gym. He was very welcoming to the USA team. So.
And you're a close knit team too. Who are you closest to on the team?
I'd say Michael Hunter. When we were there in Bolton, I've known him for some time now. But it was actually the first time I had to room up with him, and I had a room with him in Bolton, and then he was across the hall from me in the village. So I spent the majority of the time with him. He's a cool guy. He's originally from California. He lives in Vegas now, so he's kind of the same demeanor, same swag. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And did you do a lot of sparring together?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we did a ton of sparring together, and we're probably going to do a lot more sparring together. We're trying to set some things up now. So he'll come out here to Cali, and I'll go up there to Vegas a couple different times.
Do you guys know what you're doing now? Are you turning pro yet, or are you going to stay amateur?
I can't speak for him, but I know I'm definitely going to be going pro here pretty soon. I'm working on some things now with Al Heyman and hopefully, make our pro debut here in October, probably the second week of October.
I'll tell you, anytime there's someone good to sign, Al Heyman's somewhere involved. Al Heyman got everybody. Al Heyman.
Right? Yeah. Well, he does it right. Everything he does right, everything he touches makes money. So, everybody's prospering underneath him, and I wouldn't rather be with anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely takes care of his guys. And are you married, or do you have a girlfriend?
I'm married. I've been married 5 years, and I've got 2 kids. I've got a 4-year-old son and a 6-month-old son.
Beautiful, man. And was your girl with you through the whole trip in London?
Actually, she came up the last week of me being there. She wasn't there, for the fight. She was actually here in the States, in California, watching it with friends and family. But she did get the experience actually coming up to England and checking out London and all that good fun stuff. And, I brought her into the village and showed her around, showed her how we live, and, just different sports facilities and things like that. Took her out to a track event, and it was good. We had a fun time. It was good. It was a nice little vacation for her, and I think she enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you guys went to London with a lot of hope, but you guys really didn't have any coach really till 4 weeks before you guys left to London. How hard was it to prepare without a coach?
It's tough. I mean, for me, I've only been boxing 4 years. Some of these guys have been doing it a lot longer, but I train with the same coach, day in and day out, and then one day you're just gonna say, hey, you gotta up and go to this, camp and train with another coach, and you gotta get used to the other coaches. And on top of that, by the way, we don't have the coaches set in stone yet. It's kind of hard to deal with, as a fighter. So when we got up to camp, of course they had things situated by then, but we truthfully only have to, probably do about, I'd say, anywhere from 8 to 10 different sparring sessions with those coaches in our corners, and we, it's hard to get used to somebody you've never really worked with before, and on top of that, you never heard of them or anything like that. So traditionally, I would love to have camp have been, maybe a year, pre-Olympics or something like that, so you can really get a good feel, or even 6 months, a good feel for what's going on in the corner, and your corner can know you, your strengths, your weaknesses, and all that good fun stuff. So it was kind of a downfall to barely be introduced to your coaches, 4 weeks prior to the Olympic Games.
Yeah, definitely uphill battle through from the start, And what about the officiating? The officiating came under a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah, I've always had a problem with the officiating in amateur boxing. I think just the way they scored, and they're still trying to critique it and tweak it here and there, but it's far from being finished. They've got a lot of major problems they got to deal with, but I always like to stick to a point where if you don't leave it up to the judges or you don't leave it up to the referees, you don't got to worry about them. So I made the mistake in not letting that happen, and I can't put the blame on anybody but myself.
Yeah. And who impressed you the most? What team? What
team impressed me the most?
Yeah.
I would have to say Great Britain. Their heavyweight definitely got the gold medal. I don't know. I think they had maybe 5 or 6 boxers in the actual tournament. They did real well overall, just as in sports in general. I mean, they were 3rd or 4th in the medal ranking. So they did real well. They came out strong.
Yeah. Do you remember the guy's name who you lost to?
I can't even say it. I couldn't say it when they first told me. It was like Mav Volkin or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What did you see from him that made you you couldn't cope with the skill? Do you think it's just the experience that he had?
Yeah, I've watched the film a couple times now. I think it definitely was the experience. I don't know how many years he has under his belt, but I noticed after watching the film, the first round, maybe 20, 30 seconds into the first round, he already had my timing down, and was throwing counter punches right over the top of my punches.
Yeah.
And that's a big key in boxing. And while he already had me figured out, I was still trying to figure him out. And the results definitely show it.
Yeah, you weren't boxing for too long, a few years only. How hard was it to deal with not medaling at all?
It's difficult, it's tough. It's that whole rest of that day, the whole rest of the time being there in London, I was in a depressive state. I wouldn't say it was too severe, but definitely going up into a big event like that, or just going to any bout, there's a ton of sacrifice and a ton of dedication that's put in, and just hours and hours of hard work, and for it all to be taken away in a matter of 3 rounds is very difficult, very tough.
Yeah.
So,
Besides yourself, and maybe even including yourself, who do you expect to medal from Team US, or at least to do better than they did?
I truthfully, after being in camp with those guys, watching those guys and girls spar and do different work, and just being around the sport of boxing, I truthfully, honestly thought everybody was going to medal. Whether it was a bronze, silver, or gold. With Clarissa getting her gold medal, I'm very happy for her. She put a ton of hard work in, and Marlon getting her bronze. But I thought every single one of those guys, every single one of those girls was going to get a medal. So.
And what? I'm gonna just name some of the team members. You just tell me what comes to mind. What do you say about Rashay Warren? 3-time Olympian.
Man, it was 3-time Olympian. He's the only boxer to ever be a 3-time Olympian. Yep. He's just world-class guy. He's got a ton of experience. He's a great leader, and it was fun just being in camp with him. He's got a great demeanor about himself.
How about Joseph Diaz?
Cool kid, man. Cool kid. Another California guy. I was fortunate enough to be in the same apartment complex as him in the Village, and he's nothing but positive comes out of his mouth, even when he's having a bad day. He's definitely focused, and you keep an eye out for him because he's gonna make a splash when he does turn pro. I don't know if he's going to turn pro, but I know when he does, he's gonna make a hell of a splash for sure.
Jose Ramirez.
Also another cool cat out of California as well. He's got the boxing game down almost to a T, inside and out as far as being in the ring and on the business side of it. So he helped me out with just educating me on the information side of boxing. Whenever I had a question, he was the guy I was running to ask. He always had an answer. And if he didn't have an answer, he was on the phone calling somebody that advises him to find the answer for it. So very cool kid, very highly educated.
And team captain Jamel Herring.
That says it alone, man. He's the captain. Great at giving orders, great at keeping structure. He's another man. If you had a question, he answers it to the T, and if he can't give you an answer, he's gonna go find it. Definitely always in shape, hardworking guy. First one in the gym, last one to leave the gym. Just all around great guy.
Just dedicated. What about Errol Spence?
Texas boy, huh? I think Texas is the best place in the world.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell me any other difference, Great fighter. I watched him, do his thing, and I've always had some trouble with some southpaws, so watching him and studying him definitely opened my eyes with just different weaknesses southpaws have. But he creates openings that I've never seen boxers create before, in the 4 years that I've, watching it, and I watch film on a daily basis. He does some things that most boxers can only dream of doing, so world-class boxer for sure.
Yeah, a guy we don't hear too much about, Terrell Gaucher.
We need to hear some more about him because he's a phenomenal fighter, man. He's
Ohio.
He's one of those guys. Yeah, he's definitely from Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know if he's Cleveland for sure, but I know from Ohio. He had some big things happen for him in his small little town. He threw the first opening pitch for the baseball team out there. He had a billboard on one of the major freeways, so they know about him in Ohio. And when he came out here to California, actually my gym to camp, people were sleeping on a little bit, but after he knocked out a couple different sparring partners, eyes got opened up. So he definitely is another hardworking kid. He's got a big right hand. I always joke around with him, and I always tell him they need to call you one time. He's like, "What do you mean one time?" I said, "Because if you hit somebody with that right hand one time, they're gone, man." So he's a hell of a fighter.
Yeah, nickname's taken though.
yeah, name's taken definitely.
What do you got to say about Marcus Brown?
Great kid, New York cat. Cool. Always got swag about everything he does. He carries himself real well. He's got a ton of confidence. Also very business oriented. He's building a team around himself that's going to be real successful. I can't wait to see him hit the pro ranks.
And your buddy Michael Hunter.
Mike, he's something else. He's got the means and the ability and just athletic ability to be something special. I was telling him, hopefully we don't ever have to see each other in the pro ranks because he does some things that I just still can't figure out. And he's a crafty cat, and as being in the same weight class, when we do see each other, hopefully it's you're fighting over a belt, and we're not just fighting for some basic 8-10 round fight or whatever it is. But he's just a hardworking guy. He definitely knows what he wants. He's got some goals set ahead for him. He's a ton of experience. He's fought with the Klitschko's and handled his self real well, and other heavyweight pros or whatnot. So just another guy to keep your eyes open for. That is Michael Hunter for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if Rashid Warren's going pro. Think so, or you think he's gonna stick around for 2016?
No, I mean he could. He could, but I would most likely think he's gonna be going pro here pretty soon. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really spoken to any guys on that side of the thing. Just kind of other than keeping up, like how you doing type of deal. I'm not one of the type of people like to get in people's business. So
he's the one I felt.
Hopefully, I would assume other than Joseph Diaz is kind of still young, but everybody else I think is had their mindset on going pro. If not, coming back and of course being a return Olympian. So.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking to see Rashid Warren wait around for another 4 years and then just to miss it again and go out in the first round too. It was kind of sad. But how do you think we could turn it around? And what do you think we need to turn this whole thing around?
You broke up there. What was that? How
do you think we could turn it around for 2016 and actually win a few medals for the guys?
I think just having, of course, like I said, like a longer camp, having the boxers exposed to the coaches that are going to be in their corners and all that good fun stuff, and more international experience. I know I was invited to go to different, like a European, like heavyweight camp, and it was like, a heavyweight from every country in Europe was at the camp, and they were just doing sparring and different techniques or whatnot. And that exposure would have been great because 3 or 4 of the guys that were in the Olympics were at that camp. As far as the Europeans, so you got exposed to the guy that you're going to be fighting with in those tournaments in Olympic settings. So international experience is just huge. But camp alone, just being with your teammates and being with your coaches and building that relationship is one of the biggest things.
Yeah, and you touched on them a little bit, but let's just talk about Queen Underwood a little bit.
Yeah, Queen Underwood. She was a captain as well with Jamel. Everybody definitely listened to her. They respected her. Strong woman. What she said goes. That's for sure. She led a lot of our drills, and she was just a huge leader. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to pull off a medal like the other ladies that were on the team. But she definitely worked her tail off, and she's just a strong woman for sure.
I was glad Marlon Esparza got to win something. She won bronze. What do you have to say about Marlon?
Cover girl, man. She's great. Fantastic. She's got a great attitude. She's when she's in the gym, she's hard work. It's all full focus. When she's out of the gym, she's cool. She likes to joke around, laugh, and giggle and things like that. So she's a real cool girl. I had a great time with her. She's probably, if not the greatest example of a female boxer. When she's in the gym, it's nothing but strictly business. She doesn't want to hear nothing else. She wants to just work, focus. And you couldn't ask for any more out of a boxer.
And when Clarissa won, how'd the team as a whole feel? Had to be something good.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was definitely relieving. When you win on a nightly basis, it's relieving. For the team. When we had our first couple of wins, Joseph Diaz and Jose and Earl and guys like that had their first couple of wins. It was like, yes, we're on to the next level. But when she won that gold medal, man, it was like it's just stress got relieved off people's shoulders. It was cool to see her celebrate. All the hard work and dedication that's put in. It benefited her right then and there at that moment. And it's cool, she's doing some touring and stuff like now. I talked to her not too long ago, and I think as a team, we're supposed to be meeting up at the White House here in a couple of weeks in September, I believe. So that'll be cool, just kind of see her. And that gold medal she got is definitely heavy, man. It's worth every sweat, tear, missed day, missed sacrifice, the holidays and stuff that you miss. It's definitely worth it. That's for sure.
I'm sure Barack's going to want to take a picture holding it.
I'm sure he is.
All right, Dominick Brezeale, I appreciate your time and good luck as a pro, and I hope the best for you. Thank you, man.
Oh, man, thank you for having me.
All right, appreciate your time.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. And there you have it, super heavyweight representative, Dominick Brezeale. Classy guy, just wish the best for him. After coming off such a disappointing Olympics, you hope everyone on the team has a chance to feel success as a pro. And I want to thank Dominick for joining us, and follow me on Twitter at Chris2Guns. Thank you.